have this super excited to have this training with you all. I know that it's a lot of people are interested in being a Zoom master, and so I'm super excited to impart this information and wisdom with you, and very much looking forward to coming out of here with some new Zoom masters as part of our Zoom master cohort, if you will. So I'm now going to pull up my presentation and we'll get kicked off. Okay, so this presentation or training, if you will, is about becoming a Zoom master. And I have a few goals for this workshop for you all, which is I really want you to walk away understanding the role and responsibilities of a Zoom master. I'm going to be sharing 5 core host or Zoom master functions with the group. And I thought we could also do a little bit of grounding in revisiting virtual meeting etiquette. I know many of us in this room right now have been on multiple Zooms many times over. And so this is likely information that you already know, but it's always good to have a refresher. And then there might be somebody in the meeting tonight for whom this is new information. So let's move forward. This is the agenda. So again, we're going to start off this training with netiquette. So we'll do a little bit of the unspoken rules of Zoom. We'll go through a couple Zoom master functions, and I just want to pause and remind us that we have about an hour together. So our time is limited, but we're going to do the best we can to give you the basics for your Zoom Master tool belt. And then we can have a Q&A session at the end for any lingering questions. So I do ask that you kindly hold your questions to the end of the session. However, if you do have a question that comes up for a specific function as I'm moving us through it, then we can see if time will give us to address it in real time. But let me move us forward. And I just quickly want to also mention that there are benefits for serving as a Zoom master and building these skills. Your Zoom skills are going to travel with you from space to space. So having these skills under your tool belt will allow you to run polished virtual meetings at work and definitely at in your Toastmaster capacity. You'll be able to lead webinars, trainings, and team calls with confidence. You'll be able to manage large online events as a volunteer or community organizer if that's part of your goals and your part of your goals. And you'll be able to step into leadership and you'll be the person who controls the room and earns the room's trust. And lastly, it helps as you build your skills as a speaker and as a leader, you're building a reputation as someone that others can rely on to lead when it counts. So these are just some of the benefits of building this skill, if you will. So let's talk a little bit about netiquette or the unspoken rules of Zoom. So let's talk a little bit about video and audio. One of the things that we talk about, it's kind of implicit and explicit, or it goes without saying and goes with saying, is the muting yourself when you're not speaking. That's something that you'll probably hear as part of housekeeping at a lot of Toastmasters events, including TLI. So if you've done any club officer training, you know that when you come in, one of the first things we say is please mute yourself when you're not speaking. And why do we do that? We do that because background noise is distracting for everyone involved, right? So if you are a speaker or a presenter and there's background noise, it's distracting to you. And then if you're there as a participant and you're trying to learn, grow, get inspired, it's distracting to you as well. So we want to minimize that. We want to not take away from the experience. Another thing that you want to think about as netiquette or Zoom etiquette is to turn your camera on whenever possible. And why do we do that? Well, that's because that builds engagement and trust. We are in a room, and even though it's virtual, we are in a room. And so there will be times because virtual meetings, the nature of the virtual meeting means that you might not always be in a space that allows you to be on camera, or it not doesn't allow you to be on camera for the full duration of the event. However, it is advisable to have your camera on at certain points so that you can see your fellow Toastmasters, you can see your presenters can see you. This builds engagement and trust. And an added bonus is for your presenters and speakers when they're speaking and they can see our faces and they can see our nonverbal reactions. That's a little bit of feedback as well for your speaker, right? And as we are always working on our speaking skills at Zoom Master, that is an added benefit. And then just quickly, it's advisable to use a neutral, simple, or stylish virtual background. Again, you might not always be in a place where being on camera is ideal. You might be out in the open, you might be at work, you might have a pile of laundry behind you that you don't want anybody to see. So you can throw a Zoom background or you could blur your background and that way would be the wiser. So that's something to keep in mind. And then the last bullet is something that I actually should have probably put at the top of the list, which is test your audio and video before you join an important call, a speech contest, a training, right? Why do we want to do that? Because this way, if you have any issues that you need to troubleshoot, you can take some time to do that, right? So that you're not like joining the meeting and then like your audio doesn't work or your video doesn't work. And if you're a meeting attendee, it might not be the biggest deal to have your audio or video not working. But if you're a presenter or a speaker or a speech contestant, it's not gonna be an enjoyable experience for you to have to scramble with those settings as you're trying to join an event. Another thing to think about is I don't know about any of you, but I feel like at least once in a few months I try to join a Zoom and now Zoom wants to do an update. Now you have to wait how many minutes, right? I'm looking around, I see faces nodding. Again, if you're attending a meeting, you might be frustrated, like, oh, I'm missing something important. If you are the speaker, the facilitator, you're running the meeting, now you're panicking, right? Because people are waiting on you and you want to avoid that. So give yourself a little bit of time to try and log in, check on your audio, check on your video, make sure Zoom's not trying to update while you're trying to join a speech contest. Um, Also, really quickly, we can move through this. Is just in terms of etiquette or Zoom etiquette in terms of your engagement and presence, you want to avoid multitasking to the extent possible. I think sometimes we get on meetings and we think we're being discreet and we're doing like some other stuff in the background, but actually sometimes it's not as discreet as we think, and it can be a bit distracting. So to the extent possible, maybe we don't multitask when we are on a Zoom event. And then in terms of events where you might have verbal engagement, so if your presenter or your speaker is asking questions, or if they have a Q&A portion or a moment where you can stop and give some feedback and comments, you want to use the raise hand function, and that you'll find that towards the bottom of your Zoom screen or your Zoom box. I don't have an example, my apologies for that, but using raise hand or putting your question in the chat. And I see Michael Stantini has raised his hand, so thank you, Michael, for giving us that demonstration. This is a really organized way to include moments of verbal communication in your meeting. This way, you don't have a bunch of people just coming off mute at the same time and speaking over one another. And this will likely give you the opportunity to have more people actually get to speak or give a comment or ask a question. And then, when you're speaking and presenting, you want to look at your camera. I understand that being drawn to the faces on your Zoom screen, but if you're looking at the Zoom box and the faces, it doesn't seem like you're looking at your attendees or your participants. So as I'm doing right now, I'm looking directly into the camera, and it kind of creates this illusion that you're looking directly into your audience's faces, and it can boost engagement as well. And then last bullet is just, again, try and remain visible for the full session. You might actually be in a work meeting, where you have to, as much as possible, remain visible with your camera on, but then something might come up. So one way to have etiquette there would be just put something in the chat. You let your teammates know, hey, I need to go off camera for a minute. I'll be back. And then you can shut your camera off. And that way folks are not like, oh, where did so-and-so go? Um, Chat and reactions. So when you're using a chat box, you want to keep it professional. You know, you want to keep it focused on whatever the topic or the theme of whatever event you're at. So your questions for the speaker, the presenters. If you want to have a side conversation with a fellow attendee, you want to go to direct chat with them, and that is a function when you go into the chat box. There is a feature where you can like talk directly to other participants and you can have a private conversation. And then when your speakers and your presenters are talking and you want to like cheer them on, you can do so without unmuting and speaking verbally and interrupting your speaker. You can use like thumbs up, you can give them a heart sign, you can clap for them. These are all ways to show the speaker that you're cheering them on and that you're enjoying their presentation. And then this last bullet, it ties in with muting yourself. I think we might have all experienced at one time or the other at work where someone is not muted and furiously typing. I mean, it's just like, you know, very loud typing, and that's super distracting. So you want to remain muted, but also if you're not muted for whatever reason, try not to bang on your keyboard keys, which is really distracting. Okay, so now I'm going to move us into the what we came here for, which is our Zoom Master functions. These are the things that you can do as a Zoom Master to support the meeting behind the scenes. So the first function I'd like to talk about is admitting folks from the waiting room. So this is something that's very basic, but very important. When you have large events where you have a lot of people attending, and you have, let's say, one Zoom master, it can be a little daunting to let people in, share your screen, answer in the chat, put the agenda. So it's good to have multiple people as Zoom masters. Again, definitely for this one function, but I wanted you all to see what that looked like from the back end. So I have a little bit of tactical instructions on the screen, and after this training, we will share the recording, but I will also share the slides with this tactical instruction, and I also have a demonstration for you. So I'm going to move us forward to the next screen so that you can see what it looks like from the Zoom Master's end. So I have a recording here where you can see this is what the back end of my screen looks like. You'll see Tanya Toastmaster has entered the waiting room. So I'm going to go up, click the admit button, and then you wait a few seconds. And now Tanya Toastmaster has been let into the meeting, and now she's in the main session. So I'm just going to take a minute to look through your participant screens. Did everyone see that, or should I run it again? Just checking really quickly. Did everyone see? Okay, wonderful. So that one's one of the most basic, one of the easier functions. And there's more than one way to do it. So that's when people are coming in and you're a Zoom master, you will see these boxes come up. It says someone's name with the admit button or the I don't remember what the other button said, but you can also let folks in another way. So if you click on the participant button at the bottom of the screen, the box will open. You hover over the participant's name and you click the admit button, and now you wait a second, and now Teresa Toastmaster has been let into the meeting. So you have the two ways, the box that floats up on the screen, or you can go to participants list and you can see who's in the waiting room. So those are two ways to admit folks into a Zoom meeting. Another function that is important for a Zoom master is renaming your participants. So, and why is that important? Well, it's one way to keep the meeting organized and ensuring that your guests or participants are identifiable. One place we use that is for our club officer training, right? TLI. If you've attended a TLI, you've come into the room and we might be verbally saying, hey, welcome, rename yourself as you're coming in, put your role that you're training for first, and then put your name next to it. We also do that during the welcome portion. Usually the TLI dean will do this during housekeeping. And why do you may ask, why are you asking me to rename myself? Why do I need to put my role and name? Well, while our wonderful trio and other guest speakers are giving presentations, or we're having a very fun round of Kahoot with our PQD Stella, our our public relations manager, who my apologies, I forgot to introduce at the beginning. You all know her, Jeslie Chetaniel. Jeslie and I serve as Zoom masters many times together. And what we're doing on the back end while you're having fun with Stella in Kahoot is we are assigning you to the breakout rooms that you're going to be going into later. And I'll tell you, sometimes we have 70, 80 participants. If we don't do it on the back end, you'd be sitting and waiting in the main room to get into your training room. So we're all about efficiency at Toastmasters, right? So that's why one of the reasons why we're saying please rename yourself. You may also notice during a contest, a virtual contest, sometimes we have dignitaries in the room, right? And sometimes it's hard to know unless we see them. So if they come in, we might recognize them from their videos, but sometimes we recognize them because they've renamed themselves with their dignitary titles. So that's just two reasons why you might want to use that function. But the Zoom Master can rename folks, co-hosts can rename folks, you can rename yourself. So everyone can do a rename situation. It's just that attendees can only rename themselves. Co-hosts and Zoom masters can rename other guests. So I'm going to move forward and show you what that looks like. So you're going to click on the participant button. You'll hover over the person's name, go to the drop down, the rename button. You click that. Then you put your cursor in the dialog box. And now you can type in whatever, Zoom master, club president, immediate past district director, so on and so forth. Did everybody catch that? Did everybody see that? Wonderful. Awesome. Okay, great. And now I'd like to show you the spotlight pinning features in for Zoom Master. So you probably noticed that during events like TLI trainings or other, maybe during contests, virtual contests, someone starts speaking and then all of a sudden out of nowhere now they fill up the screen, whereas before maybe you just heard a voice, right? So we like to pin our speakers, I'm sorry, we like to spotlight our speakers so that they are the focal point during their speaking portions or if they're a contestant. Um, we also have the pin feature, and these are two different features. So pinning is a local activity. Pinning is something you would do, and then you are the only person. If you pin a person, and I invite you to try it. And if you want to right now while I'm talking and you want to hover over someone's name and click on the three dots, you should see the pin option. If you pin the person, they'll be spotlighted for you. I can't see them. Your fellow Toastmasters next to you can't see them. One reason why you might want to use the pin feature is if you are a speaker and you want to keep track of the timer, right? So you find your timer in the participant list, you pin them, and now when you're speaking, you can keep an eye on their background as they're changing their background colors. Spotlight again, uh, only a Zoom master or a co-host or host can spotlight someone. And once they spotlight the person, this is the focal point for everyone during the meeting. So I have an example of that as well. So here you see I'm highlighting Tina Toastmaster. I'm going to spotlight her for everyone. So now she is the main focal point. Everyone sees Tina. And then you see I'm on top with Tanya Toastmaster. And I'm going to run it again because I think it went really fast. You'll see that I hover over Tina's box. The menu comes down. You click on Spotlight for everyone. And now you have Tina as the focal point of the meeting. And then you can go to the remove spotlight button to remove Tina as the focal point of the meeting. So now Tina goes back to the gallery view, if you will.
So where do you see the spotlight? We see pin, but I don't see anything says spotlight.
So you can only spotlight someone if you've been given host or co-host capabilities. Is this Gwendolyn?
Yes.
Hi, Gwendolyn. Yeah, you'd have to be given co-host capabilities. And I'm trying to track the time. I want to move through my demonstrations, but if we have time at the end, I'd really love to give folks co-host capabilities so you can play around with some of the features. So if you're interested in that, Gwendolyn, hang around and hopefully we can let you see what that feels like. Um, I also wanted to show the pinning the participant feature. So you see you hover over the name and the menu comes down and you click pin. So I wanted to give you a view of what it looks like, right? So I've pinned Teresa Toastmaster. Now, this is my view on my left side. right under where it says pin a participant, that's my view. But if you look in the other side, nothing changed, right? I just wanted you to see the juxtaposition of like how I've pinned someone, now they're my focal point, but the rest of the gallery or the rest of the participants, they didn't see anything change. So just wanted you to see that. Now I want to show you how we create and manage breakout rooms. So, as many of you know, we use the breakout rooms to split participants into smaller groups so we can have discussions and collaborations. Um, Again, some logistical, tactical instructions here. Um, and then some notes at the bottom of my slide, which basically is when you're a host and a co-host, you can create breakout rooms, you can assign folks to the breakout room, and then you can check on folks. So using TLI training as an example again, uh, when we're Zoom masters for TLI and we've opened the breakout room and everyone's gone into the room, sometimes you want to be able to check and see, is the faculty trainer in the room with your participants, how the training is going. Sometimes people want to be observed or evaluated. So you might join a room and just, see what's going on in the room. So you can do that once you are a host or co-host. You can also broadcast messages into the room when you're a Zoom master or co-host. I don't have an example for you all of that, but it is a feature. You might have been in a training or some kind of event where you're in a breakout and you see a message pop up. That's the Zoom master or the co-host letting you know, hey, we have 5 minutes left until the room closes. And then also when you're setting up a breakout room, and I'll show you in a minute, there are features that let you decide how long it stays open for. Are people joining, manually? Are you assigning them and automatically sending them in? And are you, how much time do you give the room to literally close out once, the session is over? So I have an example on that. Um, so you're going to go down to the breakout button towards the bottom of the screen there on the right. And for the sake of the example of TLI, I'm making 7 breakout rooms. I want to assign them manually. You hit create, and now you can rename each of your rooms. For TLI, we do so. We want to have each room for every role that's training, but certainly you don't have to rename your rooms. If you're having an event, you can leave it as room 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. And then you can just send people into rooms. But for the example of TLI, we do rename them for the roles. And then here's the menu. As you can see, you can allow participants to choose a room. They can return to the main session at any time. You can you can move them automatically to the rooms when you open them. You can give it, let me go back there 1 second. So for TLI, we give about an hour and 5 minutes for people to do the session, and then a 60-second countdown. So you might see that message when you're in a room where it says, oh, you have 60 minutes, and then the room's going to close. And then this is what it looks like when you open the rooms. On the Zoom Master side, you'll see a green sign at the top that says all participants have been invited and all breakout rooms are open. So that is an example of what creating the breakout rooms looks like. Did everyone see that, or should I run that example again?
Can you bring it back again?
Sure. Okay, I'm gonna rewind this. So, and I know my videos are going fast, my apologies, but I will share the deck and you'll be able to watch it at your own pace. So you click the breakout room box, you choose how many rooms you want to create, you choose if you want them to automatically assign or manually assign. We do manual for TLI. And then you can rename your rooms, as you see is happening right now in the example. And I only did a few so that I can also show you how there is the option button at the bottom of the screen. So right here, you'll see it opens up and you can let your participants choose the room. You can assign them and you can let them choose. We do both for TLI because some people don't automatically click the button when it comes up for them. So then they're like, oh, I didn't see the invite. So now they can go to the breakout room feature through their interface and they can choose a room to join. And this is what it looks like on the Zoom Master end.
Jennifer, we have a question.
Sure.
Where
How do
did
you
you go
start?
for the breakout room?
Can you repeat that?
There's a question. Where did you go to create the breakout room?
Okay, so thank you for the question. I don't know if you can see it, but right here where my cursor is, it's towards the bottom of the screen. When you're inside your Zoom box. Now, if you haven't been assigned co-host or host, you won't see it. So that's why I tried to put the example on the slide here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like the 1, 2, 3 over from the right. It says more, record, breakout rooms with the squares. So when you want to create a breakout room and you have your co-host capabilities, you would click that button and then I'm gonna rewind it again so you can see. You click the button, right? Then you see this, after you click the button, this is what pops up. This create X breakout rooms box pops up. And that's how you can choose how many rooms you want, how you want to assign them, and then again, rename them if you want or not. And then you can go to the options button at the bottom, my left. I don't know if it's your left or right. And that's where you would decide how you want people to be able to join. Are they assigned manually? Do they choose the room themselves? How much time do you give the room? Are you giving the room 30 minutes? Some rooms is an hour, right? Sometimes you're at work and they're like, oh, we're gonna do a 10-minute breakout. You can choose down here, breakout rooms automatically close after X amount of minutes. And you can be notified when the time is up, and then you can do a countdown for once that note pops up, your room is going to close, then you get 60 seconds or however much time you want. After 60 seconds, the room is closed and you're back in the main session. Okay. So I want to show you how to assign someone to a room. So the rooms are
Sorry,
open.
Jennifer, we have a hand raised.
Sure.
Jacqueline.
Thank
Jacqueline?
you. Yeah, can you just freeze that? Right. Okay. So when you have host, the bottom icons, those are the ones that automatically come up once you have host capabilities on the bottom, the participant, the chat, the breakout rooms. That's the line that comes up automatically.
So it's hard for me to I'm so sorry. It's hard for me to pause it. It's kind of running on its own loop, but those icons on the bottom, yes. So
Okay.
you
Okay.
should be able to see some of them now as a
I do. I
participant,
see them. I want to, yeah, I want to talk
but
fast. I don't want to use up the time. Can you
n-
go back to that screen you just passed?
this one,
No, the very first one after you, right. What does assign automatically do?
assign automatically would mean that, um, so for some events where it doesn't matter where people go, right? Let's say if I wanted to break this room up, there's about 33 people. If I just wanted to break us up into like 4 or 5 rooms and I didn't care who went where, I would do automatically. And it's like a what do you call it? I'm trying to think of a
It would just automatically pick a name and put them where
automatically.
they wanted to?
It would put anybody anywhere. It's like a
Okay.
roll of the dice.
And that screen right here.
Yeah.
If I don't click on any of those buttons, what happens?
If you don't click on allow participants to choose room, they won't be able to. And if
Okay.
you don't allow them to return to the main session, they won't be able to. And the reason why we choose that for TLI is because people's connections, unfortunately, kick them out sometimes.
So
So
in other words, the whole breakout feature can run if I don't check it. It just might not run the way I want to. So
yeah,
it's got it.
it would be a basic breakout room without any specific special, characteristics like, you want to make sure that you are kind of using the options button because you want to put at least how much time do you want people in the room? Because let's say you have a work event, right? And you need to break groups into 4 or 5 to discuss an issue, a challenge, and you tell them, "Oh, I'm giving you 10 minutes to be in the breakout room," and you don't put the time, and I'm not sure, we can check when we're done here, like how much time it like generally puts in for folks. But I have been in work meetings where they say, "Oh, we're gonna give you 10 minutes to break out in pairs to discuss this." And then by 5 minutes we're kicked out and people were like, "What happened? We were supposed to have 10 minutes to talk."
All right.
So
So
it's
it's
good,
important to set up all those
yeah,
tools. And my
depending on what
last
your goals are.
and my last question is, when we put people in breakout rooms, do they automatically go in unmute, or is that another thing I have to do or don't do?
I believe when you set up the Zoom from your account, whatever settings are in there for your meeting is what you're gonna see. So I typically set things up to mute people like anywhere, like for my club meetings, for events. Because you never know where people are coming in from. They could be coming from a
Mhm.
loud, noisy
Mhm.
event. They could be mid-conversation. You want to, have them unmute themselves.
Okay.
So whatever you put in your settings, and you can go into your Zoom account, meeting settings, basic, they have basic and advanced. I'm not sure if it's basic or advanced, but you want to make sure it's like embedded in your Zoom account so you don't have to do it for each meeting. But I
Okay.
believe you can also do it for each meeting when you're scheduling a Zoom. So there is that as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So the next screen is me wanting to show you how to assign someone. We do it a little differently for TLI, but this is a basic way to do it. You would go open the room, you go to the person, Tanya's Toastmaster has no assignment yet, so you click the assign to button. I want to put her in the president's room, so I click president, and then I click the join button, and now she is being sent to the president breakout room. And then I, as a Zoom master or a co-host, want to check in on that room. So now I've clicked the join button, and that's a button that you can see as a co-host or a Zoom master. And it allows you to join any of the breakout rooms. So now I put myself into the president's breakout room with Tanya, Toastmaster. And then if I click the breakout room button again at the bottom of the screen, I can also close out the breakout rooms from there. I'm just giving you an example what that looks like on the back end. So now you see there's a timer going off, 56, 55, 54. It gives you a minute to get yourself back, or else it kicks you out. It ejects you automatically. So now Tanya, Toastmaster, and I have been put back in the main session room, and yeah, that's what it looks like on the back end. Okay, so did everybody see that, or should I run that one again?
How do you manually bring them back and forth?
Is this Jacqueline again?
Yes, suppose you're in a meeting where they're voting on a president and you want to put the person in the waiting room so they don't see how the participant is voted. How do you bring them back and forth manually in a waiting room so they don't hear the vote?
It's similar to this. I'll run this one again because it is similar to what you'll see here, which is um, when you open the rooms, if you didn't assign people beforehand, they will be in this unassigned space, right? So your president might be unassigned. You can click the assign to, and these are the breakout rooms that I created and named that way. But let's say you were like, wait, you wanted it to say waiting room, right? So now you will click that. You'll assign your president to whatever room, whatever you want to call it, and then hit that button, and you'll see now it'll send them to that room. Mine is called president for the sake of the example, but it could be anything you want it to call it. So it could be waiting room, it could be waiting vestibule, you could name it lobby, right? So that you could put whatever, your president, whoever you want it to move out. And then when you're in there, you can assign them to come out. I think they do have to click the button though. I'm not 100% sure. Jess, do you know if that's the case? I can't remember top of mind.
Um, Sorry, to let the members out?
So if you wanted to move someone back and forth, like if you wanted to
Yeah,
move, once you put someone in a breakout room, can you then pull them out, or do you invite them to come
yes.
out?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
So using the same method where you assign someone into a president's room, so same way from president's room, you'll put them in into the VPE room. You can use the same method and they'll automatically go into that room.
Okay. Thank you for confirming, Jess.
I have a question.
Yes, Loretta. Go ahead, Loretta. Did you want to ask the question, Loretta?
Yeah, we used this format when we did TLI, the training, but I didn't hear you if I'm the host and I have been authorized to create the breakout rooms, what button do I push when everybody is in a room and I want to go and to a particular room. You mentioned something that a button we had to push.
Sure. So, I'm going back to
So,
yeah, I'm coming back to the example that I was showing here.
oh,
So,
go to the create button.
no, no, no. That I'm just trying to find the part in the video where I can show you that. Let me see. So, I'm sorry, Loretta, can you repeat the question?
Okay. I'm the co-host. I've assigned everybody by their title to a
Okay.
breakout room. Now I want to go back into each room. How do I do that?
Okay. So this is not a perfect example, but it's similar. So do you see on on the screen, you should see the box where it has the rooms, right? The 7 rooms. And then on the right side of the box, you'll see for the sake of the example, pretend that there's like a bunch of people in each room. But these buttons where it says join, you as the co-host can click on any of those join buttons and go in any
Oh,
of the rooms you
okay,
want, and you can
okay,
go back and
okay,
forth. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Thank you. Okay.
Welcome.
How do you get out?
You close
So
them, I guess.
No, like if you wanted to go to each room
yeah,
back and how do you get out?
so the way you would do that, and I don't have an example for that, so good to know for the next time. Um, if you see my cursor up here where it says all participants have been invited to join, this box is covering the X in the black box. You click that X, and then you'll get a box that pops up that says either leave breakout room or no, either leave breakout room or join main session. And then there's a button that also says leave Zoom. So you get two options.
Oh,
You can
leave
leave the
room.
meeting
Yes,
completely or you can leave the room. So
yes,
that's how you would leave
yes.
the
I've
room and
seen
then you
that.
can,
Yes.
yeah, you open the breakout room button again and then you can go into any of the other rooms that you want to go into.
And once again, you only see these things because you're the host.
Exactly. This is a back end view, which is why I recorded these because otherwise I would just be talking and doing things and you wouldn't see it. You'd be like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, Jennifer. Like it literally looks like magic. You're just like things are just popping up. So yeah, that's why I did these back end recordings, hoping that these would be a better visualization for you all. Um Okay, so I am going to now move us forward to assigning a co-host. This is another pretty simple feature for the host to do. And this says up to 25 co-hosts, but I think that's actually incorrect. I need to fact check that, but I think you can have more than that. And I believe that's the case because when I was preparing this training,
Ooh.
I wanted to be able to my goal is to get us through the next couple slides so that whoever wants to try it out, I will make you a co-host and you can try some of these features out. So let's move forward to the next video. So this is another example. Again, you're going to go to the person's video box, you'll hover, the menu comes up with the 3 dots, and you can go down to the make host or make co-host feature. Then you click confirm. And now Tanya Toastmaster is a co-host and she'll have capabilities for the back-end things that we're learning today. I'm going to run it again because I know the video went fast. A lot of this is just hovering over people's video boxes, or you can also do it through the participants section. But the menu comes up, you go down to make co-host, you click it, you get a confirmation box. Tanya sees something come up on her end as well. And then she has the ability to do things like breakout rooms, renaming people, moving people around, recording the meeting. So you can do polls as well, which I don't have any examples of those for this one, but it's something you can do. The next thing I wanted to show you is screen sharing. I feel like screen sharing is something that a lot of
Oh,
folks are
yeah.
interested in doing, but might not be aware of how to do it. So, and screen sharing allows you to show parts of your desktop, an application, or let me move this here, a browser, right? Tab to all of your participants. I have the tactical instructions here, and then I'm going to show you what that looks like. 1 second. So you're going to go to the bottom of your screen and click the share button, which lights up in green. Then a bunch of boxes will open, which are the different browsers or documents you want to open. I wanted to open this Toastmaster Find Your Voice brochure. As you can see, there's a your screen sharing box on top of my screen in green. And that's telling me that I am actively sharing my screen right now. So I'm gonna run that again for you all to see again. Okay, so you will find your share button towards the bottom of the screen. Everyone should be able to see that. I think it's set up that anybody could share during this meeting, but you're going to click on the exact window tab document you want to share. You're going to click on share and it's going to pull it up and you will see this box around. Quickly, it showed the box of the screen I'm showing, and now there's the UR screen sharing button on top. This green box, if you will, a rectangle, is telling you that you are actively sharing your screen. So that is how you would share your screen. And now we can do a quick Q&A session. Before we launch into that, I do want to address a question that came in through the community chat. I don't know if Kathy is here. I think I saw you. So Kathy, I believe you asked about using the same Zoom link to schedule a series of meetings. So I don't have a demonstration for you, but I wanted to tell you that when you set up a Zoom meeting, if you set it up as a recurring event, you should be able to use that link multiple times. This is something that we do at one of my clubs, Einstein Toastmasters. We typically set up a Zoom link for the year, basically. When you're setting it up, there's a feature that you can click on that will say recurring, and then I think you can choose, there's some sort of calendar function that lets you choose like when you want it to last until. So we do for the full year, and then we share it multiple ways. We have a Google Calendar that we share it out as. We have our own WhatsApp chat. We pin it in there. People send it to each other. They WhatsApp it to each other. So once you have a recurring link, you can just reshare it and reshare it until it expires. You shouldn't have to always schedule it from Zoom platform that it officially comes out as a Zoom invite. There's no need for that. It's pretty flexible. So I don't know if I've answered your question, but just wanted to address that quickly. And I think that was Kathy McGowan who had asked that. And hi, Kathy. All right, so I want to open the floor to any questions. And then again, we're at 8:44. Depending on what time we are close to ending. If anyone is interested in being made a co-host so that they can try some of these functions like renaming and being able to see the breakout rooms. Jackie, I see you raised your hand.
Yeah, oh yeah. I know you're doing this because of Toastmasters, right?
Mhm.
But as long as you have, like, say I belong to another organization or I'm doing something private for my own business, just example. As long as you have a paid account, then you can do all of these functions, correct?
Yes, and I think even if you had a free account, I don't quote me, but I believe you just have a limitation of time, right? I think
Yes,
it's
45 minutes.
45 minutes, but I
40.
believe you should be able 30 minutes?
It's 40 minutes, but
45.
on those, you can't do that on those 40-minute accounts.
No, it's only the paid ones.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I did not know that. Good to know. Good to know.
I have a free Zoom and I can share. What is it you cannot do?
Like the mass, you see how you have the like 4 or 5 different Zoom people to break out rooms? That's what I'm concerned about. Say if I were to do something like
No,
an
that's
interview.
there. White pages there. All of the latest things. Only the time is limited. on
Oh,
the 45-minute one that I have.
oh, that's great. Thank you.
So, I am Chesley, if you can you help me make folks co-hosts? Let's make everyone a co-host,
Sure.
or as many people as we can. And let's see if you can see some of the features
Oh, sorry,
that
Jennifer.
we
I think only the host can make.
Oh no. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
you can only have you would have to take somebody off co-host and then give us permission.
Okay. So I'm going through making folks co-hosts. I invite you to try some of the functions. So maybe you can rename one of your fellow Toastmasters. Maybe you can if anybody
Oh,
wants to
I think
try.
Jacqueline Smith has a question.
Oh, okay, you only have so many people who can do it. Okay, Jacqueline Smith?
I just want to ask you, will you be making the slides available, the handout?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll make a copy, we'll download these slides for you and you'll have the slides and the videos. I can also send the videos separately. The videos I made them separately and embedded them here. But we will definitely send you the there'll be a recording of this as well that will be on our YouTube account that folks can access. And
Oh, I know. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to be rude.
sure.
So sorry. I know what the question was on the phone. What, you know how some people, I know on the iPad you can do the co-host, but say John Smith, he's on his phone and he needs to go into to the room. Is that allowed? Because I know some people always have issues when they're doing it on the phone when we have a major meeting like that. That's the
I
question I want to know.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I would have to research it. I'm making a note here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I will have to look into it and get back to you, Jackie.
That was the one of the key questions I had.
Okay.
I didn't mean to be rude.
No,
Sorry.
you're good. I see Deborah Jones has her hand up.
Yes, thank you. Hello. You may have covered it and I missed it, but did you speak about polling, especially as
Did not speak about polling. My
okay.
apologies. We can definitely have another event in the coming weeks. And as a matter of fact, I would absolutely love to open up a an apprenticeship, a Zoom Master apprenticeship. I know that we have some budding Zoom Masters in here. District 46 can always use more Zoom Masters when we have events. As I mentioned at the top of the program or the training, is that certainly one person can do it, but it can get a little challenging when you are sharing your slides, letting people in, answering questions, sharing in the chat. Like it really helps when you can have a cohort or a team, right? So I would love a team. I see your hand up, Jacqueline. I'm gonna put you down as a as one of our Zoom master apprentices. I do see Tensi Robinson raise their hand. Tensi? Feel
She's on
free
mute.
feel free to unmute, Tensi, so we can hear your question.
How long will you have access to the recording?
Well, indefinitely, I would say, hopefully in perpetuity, right? Hopefully the district's YouTube will last, but we'll have it up. We plan to have it up for a very long time on our YouTube channel, so you can definitely access it there. And again, I'll be sending these slides to everyone who joined. So
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm also interested in the apprenticeship.
Oh, hi, Ruby.
Ruby,
How you doing,
excellent.
Jacqueline?
I am writing names as we speak. That's amazing. Thank you, Ruby. Who else? I know there's got to
Myra.
be others.
Here's
Myra?
Myra.
Hi,
Yes.
Myra.
You can add
Do you,
Deborah Jones.
Kim Suddeth.
Pansy Robinson.
Go ahead,
Myra?
Ralph.
Jennifer Yukoned Raisa.
Oh,
Raisa?
Rafa.
Amazing.
She's here.
Kim? Amazing. This is This is wonderful. I will be reaching out to you separately. And we're gonna build an amazing team.
Oh, look, you have
Julius,
Julius. You have Julius
Julius,
Johnson
yes. Amazing, Julius. Yes, thank you. Bob
and Michael.
Share,
You have Michael and you have Bob Share.
Michael, Bob. This is amazing. You guys have just made my night.
You got everybody.
Now, see,
Love
I
it.
beat you.
Love
I
it.
beat you to it, Jennifer. And I'm like, I have a funny feeling she's probably gonna ask me, either her or Chesley. So I'm like, let me beat them to it.
Oh, look.
You know our
Yeah.
hearts. You know our hearts, Michael. Um, this
Oh,
is fantastic. Let's see, how much time do we have? We have a
on
couple
this
of
screen that
minutes.
you have right here where it says create and the number of breakout rooms. So what you have right now assigned automatically. So you can also choose another one, for example, assign automatically and let participant choose their own room. You can
Yes, you
choose.
can do both when you're doing
Okay.
a breakout room. And that's something we do for TLI because as I mentioned, depending on how many folks are coming to TLI, and sometimes we have a nice robust group. We have like 80, 70, 80 people. If we waited at the last minute, it could be chaotic, and then
Mhm.
we want to be efficient, right? Toastmasters trains us to be efficient in a lot of ways. So while the main session is happening, that first hour where the trio is talking and Stella's taking us through that very fun Kahoot trivia, myself, Jessley, or any other serving as Toastmaster, I'm sorry, Zoom masters, we're feverishly behind the scenes assigning people to their breakout rooms and we assign it we click that button about automatically put people and let people choose because I believe that box, the invitation does not last that long. So like if you don't catch the box when it comes up inviting you, some people might be like, oh, I didn't see the
Mhm.
box. So then they get to go into the breakout rooms and choose where to go. And then, on occasion we have a couple people at the end of the main session who will then need further assistance, whether they need to be renamed or moved manually into the breakout room. But again, we like to move as efficiently as possible, and we really try to get everyone assigned ahead of time.
I have one more question. Sorry, I didn't
Go
mean.
ahead.
Pretend you start your meeting at 6 o'clock. What's the cutoff time to allow people? I know some people can be a little bit late, but we don't want to block them. What do you consider courtesy cutoff time? Like 15 minutes of the meeting or 6:30? What do you do as politeness?
So I think it depends on what your goals are.
Well, so pretend just let's pretend we're just doing a general Toastmasters
Just general
meeting.
Toastmaster. I mean,
No, 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 like a contest
oh,
with officials.
contests.
So let's
Well,
just pretend like that.
contests, I think people can come in at any point as long as the contestant's not speaking. So when a
Okay.
contestant is literally on the floor, the virtual floor, we're not going to let anyone in. But,
Just
after they
yeah,
speak, you can let them in.
yeah, because me, out of courtesy, I only give people grace period time, 10 minutes, because I always think of when I'm at work, when I'm clocking in to work, they say, oh, we're giving you a grace period time like
Yeah.
that, you know.
Yeah,
So I'm going to
that's
be
a good point.
courtesy to the other person, but as well as the whole people as well. That's what I'm saying. That's just
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point as well. And you could, your club might have those rules, right? Where you say, after 15 minutes, no, you can't come in. But and
That's only for a contest, but if
TLI
it's
is
a
like
regular
that as well.
meeting, but like say if it's a regular meeting, it's okay as long as they're not speaking.
Yeah. Yeah, no. You can set the rules that you feel comfortable with for your events.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Kathy?
Yes, hi, thank you, and thanks, learning a lot. I wanted to ask, you said about when you're setting up the breakout rooms, and if somebody misses their cue to join one, then they can somehow choose which one to join. So once they're going on, is there a breakout room that they can see where they click on and get to choose? How do they find, like, you said they could choose their own, which one to go into? Where would they
Yeah.
find?
So, let me see if I can move back to that slide.
Sorry about
No,
that.
it's okay.
Just occurred to me.
So this is the slide where I show you how to create and open the breakout rooms.
Hmm.
Um, for the using TLI as an example, when you go to TLI, you know what role you're training for, which is why we
Right.
named the rooms.
Right.
That's the identifier, right? So
Right.
once the rooms are open, you would go to that breakout room button. I don't know if you can see it down here at the bottom of the screen. It's like
Yeah.
4 boxes on top of each other.
Okay. Right.
That's where you would, as a participant, would click on that button, and then you should see these rooms, right? Once they're
Okay.
open. And
I
then
see.
let's say, oh, you're here to train for VPE, you would look for the VPE room, and what it'll say on the right is not a sign, it'll say join, right? So
Okay.
I think it's gonna show you this see how now it's open right on the screen.
Right.
So
I
you're
see.
gonna click any of these blue join buttons, and that'll take you
Gotcha.
into the room that you want to go into.
Okay, thanks. So that's what it appears once you have the breakout rooms going. It'll appear
Yeah,
at the
once it's
bottom of our screen.
open,
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
when the rooms are not open, you won't see them. They're like
I
invisible
see.
to you as a
Right.
participant.
I
But if
see.
you are a Zoom master, you can see them because,
Right.
you can see the behind the scenes view. Um,
Gotcha.
sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Gwendolyn?
you.
Okay, so we've had before somebody come and we admitted them to the room and they're uncouth and not dressed appropriately. And this particular person has been spoken to several times. You got to wear a shirt. I don't know what's the matter with this particular person. So, anyways, you move him to a breakout room. Is there some? I mean, I don't know how this works. I think I did it one time so that you can talk to this person while the meeting is still going on to say, these are the rules, and if you can't comply, then you will never be admitted ever again. So is that the case? I have time to talk with this person while the meeting is still going on?
Yeah, actually, you can do things like you can open a breakout room during a club meeting for different purposes. I actually joined the beta training last weekend, and one of the presenters talked about using breakout rooms, but more for a more positive function, which is should you have like guests who come to a meeting, a virtual meeting, and they don't feel comfortable speaking like publicly on the Zoom, you could have like a guest lobby or something, and then the VPM or whoever wants to take that task can meet with the guest in that space and have a conversation with them. But in the same way, you could have a lobby where you put people, that's a breakout room, and if you have an issue, like you're saying, this person is maybe they came in with bad intentions, maybe they're disruptive, and you want to pull them aside and away from everyone and say, listen, we have some rules here. You can't, we need you to behave in X way, or we're going to have to ask you to leave the meeting. And then Zoom has a capability to remove people. I don't have an example of that, but you can definitely remove someone from a Zoom room. And I think you can ban them. I'm not sure if that's the
I
case,
think so.
Jess.
I forgot because I know in the past I had to do that before, just get rid of somebody altogether.
Okay. And you were able to ban them indefinitely from your Zoom?
I think so. I can't remember for sure. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, okay. I don't know, Jess, do you know? I feel like do you know if that's the case that you can like not only remove somebody but ban them from that Zoom
Yes.
link?
Yes. So when you hit the button that says remove report, so there's an option that says report to Zoom, that if somebody is not good or you don't want them to join. So as soon as you remove someone from a meeting, they're not able to join that meeting using the same link. So Zoom is already set up in that way. But in addition, if you want to report that, like for example, the AI note takers we removed, but we don't report them as something, as harassment or bullying like that. But if there's some case like that, there's another checkbox that you'll see. So you check that box and report to Zoom.
Okay, thanks.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you, Jess. So we are at time. Does anybody have any final questions before we wrap up? We want to, honor your time. I know everyone's busy, and yeah, just pausing to see if anyone has a quick question before we close out.
Yes, this is Deborah. Can Jesselyn please repeat what she said about banning someone from the meeting?
Yeah, sure. So
Can
so
you,
Deborah,
I'm sorry, can you show on the screen?
Okay, let me see if I can share my screen.
You think, Raisa?
Okay. Okay, so do you see my screen? Can you see the tiles here with everybody? Or
The
just the plain background?
No, can
you
just
see
see
the
your.
sea.
Mhm. We see a
Okay, do you see
beautiful
now?
water.
Can you see the participants window?
Yeah, above the picture? No, that's a
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
showing create breakout room. You want to take that out of the screen.
Create breakout room.
I
I
don't
Yeah,
only
see
that's
see
what's showing.
Like, what do you see on my screen?
the
water, a
water.
pretty island, a
Yeah.
mountain.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Your
yeah, for some
desktop.
reason Zoom doesn't allow to show the controls, but give me a moment. Let me just take a snip here. Okay. Yeah. Now do you see a screenshot?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the participant page. And now what I'll do is I'll take a new screenshot. Hopefully. Okay. One moment. Okay, Zoom doesn't allow me to share, but I should be able to.
Can you just tell us where it is? Like, is it on the participant thing?
Yeah, yeah, so okay, I lost the other screenshot, but okay, let me just take this again.
They've
Okay,
changed
so if
this.
you click here,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Jennifer, maybe you can make Deborah a co-host as well. So if you click here next to the participant, there's three dots, and at the bottom of the option, like the last option there that says report. So you just click on that button, report. And when you hit that, I don't know if you can see this screen.
No, I just
So
see.
yeah. So
Okay.
I just clicked on Michael's name and yeah. So when I click that report button, so here it says what do you want to report? And these are some options that you can use. And for example, if you want okay, it doesn't allow you to remove someone. But yeah, this is something that you can use to
This
like
is different,
yeah.
Justly, because before there had like the person's name move. It says like move to a breakout room, and you clicked over the person's name and you move that person to a breakout room, and then you had these options here, like to delete from meeting, delete
Yeah.
forever from meeting. So I don't
Right.
know if
Yeah.
I changed all that, but this is completely different.
Yeah, so these are two different things. So what I just showed is how you remove a member from a meeting. But if you want to try to remove a member from a breakout room, that's different. Is that what you're looking for?
No, I was looking for removing them from the meeting.
Yeah.
So I am looking right now as we Jessie, as you're sharing, I have a screenshot here that I'm going to show, but I don't know if you can see it. I hovered, I'm not sure who I'm hovering over, but this menu comes up. I don't know if you can see it.
We
All the
can
way
see
at the
it.
bottom it says put in waiting room and remove, right? So you could put someone, let's say I had hovered over Jessie. I could put her in the waiting room, or if she was acting up and making shenanigans, maybe I remove her from the meeting. But yeah, that's what you can hover over folks in the main session and get them out, put them in the waiting room. And then when you put them in the waiting room,
Where,
you can
where do
remove
where do
them.
you see removed from the meeting? Not putting them in a waiting room.
Do
Because
you
I don't see
see
that.
on the screen this?
I
You see
just
the
see
blue bar?
the first blue bar on the bottom after allow to multi-pin. I don't know what that other one is because I'm on my phone, unfortunately.
Oh, so under allow to multi-pin, literally it says put in waiting room. There's a blue bar covering it,
Oh,
and
I
then
see it
right under
now.
that it says
Yes.
remove. and then under that report. So those are the options for like
How did you
taking
get
people out.
this all of these options here? What did you click on to get this list?
I just hovered over someone's their video box, the three blue dots. I got this long menu. I don't know if it's because I'm a host.
Yeah, I think you have to hover over someone who is not a co-host. That's when
Okay.
you will see that.
Okay.
Yeah. For example, if you try Kathy, maybe.
Don't remove me.
Yeah,
So
so
someone
I'm
who
hovering
has
over
co-host.
Kathy and I see, the options to put in waiting room, remove, and report.
And so if you remove someone, they're out. Do you have to report them to do that ban thing? Is that what that
That
means?
depends on who that person is. If you just want them, like for example, if they shouldn't be in a training that they joined, then you just remove them, but you don't report them. But
Right, right.
if it's something bad, then you report.
Report them. Gotcha.
All right,
So
so
when
these
when
three,
I'm
sorry,
sorry.
these three dots, I'm hovering over myself and it has mute and it has these three dots. And so I click on these three dots and I've got these choices of view profile, blur my background, spin, and spotlight, but I don't have those options that you had.
Right.
Because
But
you're
I
a
got,
co-host.
Can you try clicking
oh,
Catherine's
It
three
has to
dots?
be a non-co-host.
Yeah.
So Deborah does have co-host permissions
Okay,
because,
let me look at that then.
yeah. I
I'm
mean,
gonna
you're on your
go.
phone, right, Deborah? You said?
Yes,
So
yes.
your view might look a little different from someone who's on their laptop.
Yeah, this is not allowing me to click on any dots. Yes.
So yeah, I
Okay.
see
But I
it.
know how to do it on the computer, so I can see that we'll go to as a co-host or the host, we'll go to the three dots on the person's picture, and we should have an extensive menu that allows us to remove them. I don't know if we can remove them indefinitely or it's per meeting. That's really what my question is.
I
Yeah,
think
you
you have to
cannot
report
remove
them.
them.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry. So once you remove, if I remove someone from this meeting, that person cannot rejoin unless
Okay.
they register from a different email ID. So same thing
Oh,
for a new Zoom meeting, it's like totally new. So that person, anyone can join if you share that publicly. But once you remove them, only in that case they cannot rejoin. But for Toastmasters, we recommend setting up a waiting room. So this way, you know who you are admitting. And if you see someone suspicious, you can chat with them, like chat with the participants in the waiting room. Hey, how did you get this link? Or how did you know about our club? Things like that. And once you think they gave a satisfactory response, then you can admit them into the main room.
I see. So the host can go into the waiting room and talk to the person.
Yes, you can just chat. You cannot go. So
Uh, uh,
for
uh,
waiting room, you cannot go in there unless you bring them in and put them in a breakout room.
I see.
Mhm. I was in a meeting where teens got, they probably registered, the link was a URL link for the meeting was public, and they start cursing. And I know that club president, she tried to remove them. It did not work. We had to put, we had to close the meeting
Yeah.
because of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're very clever. They'll steal somebody's name and you don't know if you're throwing out the real person or the other person. That happened to us once and we had to restart the meeting 3 times and get a new link.
Yeah, that's why sometimes you'll see people put more security measures on like registrations and like
Mhm.
Jess mentioned, if you have a waiting room,
Right.
you might not feel
Passwords.
like you want to put a waiting room for your club meetings, but it could be beneficial if you have, unfortunately an issue like this. So
Mhm.
When bombing of meetings just became so common, most people have passwords now.
Mhm.
yeah, unfortunately,
And they
yes.
tell the members to not publish the passwords.
Yeah, cybersecurity is important.
Okay, I just want to be clear. So all all of these features, right, that the co-hosts have, is it the host with the host key has to set all that up, or is it automatic that all the host has to do is click on someone's names and all of those features transfers to their names and they have the capability?
So I just want to clarify if your question is, are the capabilities we talked about tonight, like breakout rooms,
Everything.
so that
Removing
comes
people
with
from
the
meeting.
platform. Yeah, that all comes with the platform. Typically, the person who creates the meeting will have access to all that and will generally be considered the host. It's typically the person that owns the account or is like the main on the account. Maybe
Well,
your club has a
no,
Zoom
no, no.
account.
You can have a pro account and you can buy 4 host keys. You can buy 7 host keys. You can buy as many. Yeah, they charge you. Okay. So I guess what I'm asking, like if you just have a regular pro account and you're the host, you have the key, that means you can create links, right?
Yeah.
When I set it up and I invite people, I invite you, I invite Catherine, I invite Jess, I just click a button and I make you co-host.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
make people co-host. You can make
Okay.
them host as well. Like
Okay,
I'm
and
the
when
host,
I
I can
do
give it
that,
to you
and when
that
I
want
do
it.
that,
Yeah.
I give them all the same capabilities automatically. I don't have
Yes.
to click on what I want to give them.
That's the
No,
whole
they'll get all
purpose
the
of making
host.
the person co-host so that you got to leave, you got to do something. So this person has all abilities to
Well,
run the building and run the run the meeting.
So that's
well, not
true.
necessarily, Gwen. In big meetings where there are 100 people and you are designated a Zoom master, they can set up those things where Jennifer is the host and I see she has every capability and the others are only presenting and sharing their screen. So I was wondering, can you set it up that way? But or is the presenter who's just sharing their screen doesn't have the capabilities? Because I know all of the 100 people that are invited to watch the webinar, they don't have any capability. So
That's
is that all
different.
in the tools thing? Is that all in the setting up of the
To
tools?
to answer the question, the host and the co-hosts have certain capabilities. Host
Yes.
has all the capabilities.
Right.
Co-hosts have a lot of capabilities, but there's a couple things, and Jess, you can chime in if you want, because I feel like things like polls, right? Like
Yeah, all that
host might
really
not see
intricate
that,
things.
but the
Yeah.
host sees everything. The host can do everything. And then sharing the screen is a function that you can set up per meeting so that anyone can share the screen. But that doesn't mean that someone who can share the screen can also rename, make a
And do all
breakout
that
room.
other
Only
stuff.
hosts and
Okay.
co-hosts can do like all the
That's what I
functions
mean.
like that.
All
Yeah.
of that, it can be done before I send the link out. Who can do what? Stuff like that.
Yes, but you can also do it during the meeting as well. So you can
Okay.
assign an alternative to be
Uh-huh.
a co-host. But let's say, to Gwendolyn's point, if you're, or I'm sorry if it wasn't you, sorry, Gwendolyn, if you in a meeting and you're like the host and you're leaving, you can assign it to somebody else on your way out so you don't close the meeting down. I think someone just asked that question.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah. I was just more interested in being able to take the skill set to where I can say, I have, I keep trying, I have the
Oh, Donna.
capability of being the Zoom master for somebody who professionally is doing webinars, and there might be 300 people on the screen, right? Just learning how to click all those buttons and really understand the tools and so forth and everything. Okay, thank you very much.
Also, I just wanted to add the thing that Jacqueline mentioned about the host key. So that's another way, like if you're just a member, but if you have the host key, you can join the meeting. Like, you're allowed to join the meeting, and then you'll see an option that says claim host. If you have the host key, you just put that number in and you become the host. So one person becomes, like, whoever puts the host key in, that person becomes the host, and they can run the meeting in the absence of the actual host.
Thanks, Jess, for sharing that. So we are a little over. Thank you so much for the extra time. Thank you for hanging out with us. And thank you to everyone who is joining our amazing Zoom Master team. We'll be like the Avengers, if you will. of Toastmasters, and super excited to be working closely with everyone who raised their hand and identified themselves. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being with us, and we are going to be sharing the slides, but also you'll have access to the recording if you want to watch that and dive in a little bit more. So, and we will also have another training, in the coming weeks. So thank you for your time, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We
Good
can do it
night.
again.
Good
Let's
night,
do it
everyone.
again.
Thank
We'll do it
you.
again, for sure.
Bye.
Good night.
Jennifer, does